The million-dollar question: why does everyone else seem so rich? Hey, future millionaires. Have you ever scrolled through your Instagram feed, maybe seen your friends posting pictures from their incredible vacations in Bali, or noticed your neighbor just pulled up in a brand new Tesla, and you just can't help but think, how is everyone affording this? It's like a constant stream of new cars, fancy dinners out multiple times a week, designer clothes, the latest tech gadgets, and meanwhile you're over here meticulously budgeting. The truth is, what you're seeing is often a carefully curated illusion, a highlight reel that conveniently leaves out the behind-the-scenes financial realities. In this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain and reveal the real reasons why like everyone has more money than you. We're going to talk about the psychological traps, the societal pressures, and the financial missteps that create this perception. Understanding this illusion is the first step to breaking free from it. Constantly comparing yourself to a distorted reality isn't just costing you your peace of mind, it's actively hindering your own financial progress. We're not just going to expose the myths, we're going to arm you with the knowledge and the perspective to build real, sustainable wealth on your own terms. By the end of this, you'll see that your quiet, consistent efforts are far more valuable than the loudest displays of supposed affluence. Let's get into it. Alright, let's dive straight into the biggest culprit, the one we all interact with daily: social media, or what I like to call the Instagram illusion. You open your phone and bam! It's an endless scroll of perfect lives. Your old high school classmate is on a yacht in the Mediterranean. That influencer you follow just unboxed a $5,000 handbag. Your cousin is showing off their newly renovated kitchen that looks like it's straight out of a magazine. It's designed to make you feel like you're missing out, like everyone else is living a life of luxury and endless abundance while you're just not. But here's the secret. It's mostly a show, a carefully crafted performance. What you're seeing are highlight reels, not the full movie. People post their wins, their best angles, their most extravagant moments. They're not posting the mountain of credit card debt that funded that vacation, or the fact that the designer bag was a rental, or that the kitchen renovation means they'll be eating instant noodles for the next 6 months to pay it off. It's human nature to want to present the best version of ourselves, but social media amplifies this to an extreme, creating a pervasive and often damaging distortion of financial reality. It's a comparison game that's rigged from the start, because you're comparing your everyday life to someone else's curated highlight reel. Think about it, when was the last time you saw someone post, "Just had a massive argument with my spouse about our maxed out credit cards," or "Feeling super stressed because I can't afford my car payment this month"? Those moments, the real, often difficult financial struggles, rarely make it to the glossy feeds of Instagram or Facebook. Instead, you get the filtered vacation photos, the celebratory purchase posts, and the "living my best life" captions that paint a picture of effortless wealth. This constant exposure to idealized lifestyles can make even financially responsible people feel inadequate or behind, and the statistics back this up. It's not just a feeling, it's a documented phenomenon. Studies have shown that a significant percentage of people, especially younger generations like millennials and Gen Z, feel immense pressure to keep up with the lifestyles they see portrayed online. Now let's talk about another major illusion, the income illusion. It's easy to assume that someone with a high-paying job, a doctor, a lawyer, a tech executive, is automatically wealthy. We see the six-figure salary, the fancy job title, and we think, wow, they must have it made. No money worries for them. But here's a critical distinction that often gets missed. High income does not automatically equate to wealth. I'll say that again, earning a lot of money is not the same as wealthy. It's a crucial piece of the puzzle, for sure, but it's only one piece. Think about it this way. If someone earns $200,000 a year, but spends $210,000 a year, are they wealthy? No, they're actually going backward financially, accumulating debt despite their impressive income. Wealth isn't just about how much money comes in, it's about how much money, and more importantly, how much that money. You could have someone earning $60,000 a year who diligently saves and invests 20% of their income, and they could be building more real wealth than the person earning $200,000 who saves nothing. One of the biggest factors here is the cost of living, especially in major cities where many high-paying jobs are concentrated. That $200,000 salary in New York City, San Francisco, or London gets eaten up incredibly fast. Sky-high rents or mortgages, expensive groceries, transportation costs, childcare, it all adds up. After taxes, which are also substantial at higher income levels, and these inflated living expenses, the amount left over for saving and investing can be surprisingly small if one isn't extremely disciplined. Then there's the issue of debt, which often accompanies high-income professions. Alright, let's move on to a really insidious trap, one that can sneak up on even the most well-intentioned individuals. It's called lifestyle creep, or sometimes lifestyle inflation. This is what happens when your spending gradually increases as your income grows. You get a raise, a bonus, or a new higher-paying job, and almost unconsciously, your expenses start to rise to meet that new income level. It's a silent wealth killer because it often feels natural, even deserved, but it can completely derail your long-term financial progress. Here's how it typically works. You start your career, maybe living with roommates, driving an older car, and being pretty frugal out of necessity. Then you get that first significant pay raise. Suddenly you think, I can afford a nicer apartment now, maybe one without roommates. Then comes another raise, and you decide it's time to upgrade your car to something newer, maybe a bit more luxurious. You start eating out at fancier restaurants more often, buying more expensive clothes, taking more elaborate vacations. Each individual upgrade seems small and justifiable on its own, but collectively they consume most, if not all, of your increased earnings. The danger of lifestyle creep is that you end up feeling like you're not getting ahead financially, even though your income is going up. You're working harder, earning more, but your savings rate stays stagnant or worse, decreases. You're essentially on a treadmill where your financial goalposts keep moving further away as you approach them. You might feel like you'd be saving more, but there just never seems to be enough left over at the end of the month, despite the bigger paychecks. This phenomenon is deeply rooted in human psychology. We have a tendency to adapt to new circumstances, and that includes new levels of income and spending. What once felt like a luxury quickly becomes a new baseline, a necessity. That daily $5 fancy coffee that was a rare treat now becomes a daily habit. Now, this next point can be a sensitive one, but it's crucial for maintaining a healthy perspective. Some people appear richer because, well, they had a significant head start that you might not be aware of. We're talking about hidden advantages, often in the form of intergenerational wealth or substantial financial support from family. This isn't to diminish anyone's hard work, but it's a reality that plays a big role in the financial landscape we observe. Think about someone who graduates college with zero student loan debt because their parents paid their tuition. That's a massive advantage. They can start saving and investing from their very first paycheck, while someone else might spend the first decade of their career just trying to pay off student loans. That's tens, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars that one person has to earn and pay back, while the other can put that same amount towards building wealth. It's a completely different starting line. Then there's help with major life purchases. Some young adults receive a down payment for their first home from their parents or grandparents. In today's expensive housing market, that can be a game changer. It allows them to enter the property market years or even decades before they could have on their own. They start building equity sooner, and they avoid years of paying rent, which is essentially paying someone else's mortgage. This isn't something people usually broadcast, but it significantly accelerates their wealth-building journey. Beyond direct financial gifts, there are other, more subtle advantages. Perhaps someone's family owns a business and they're given a high-paying job with good prospects right out of school. Or maybe they have access to a network of influential contacts through their family that helps them land lucrative opportunities. These aren't things that show up on an Instagram post, but they create a smoother, faster path to financial success for some, while others have to forge that path entirely on their own, often facing more obstacles. It's also important to consider inheritances. So, we've talked about the illusions, the social media mirage, the high-income trap, the silent creep of lifestyle inflation, and the unseen advantages of others. Now let's shift our focus to what builds real, sustainable wealth. And I'll tell you up front, the secrets aren't glamorous, they aren't quick, and they probably won't make for a viral TikTok video. But they are incredibly effective, and they are accessible to almost everyone willing to commit to them. The first, and perhaps most fundamental principle, is consistently living below your means. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it's the bedrock of wealth creation. This means consciously spending less money than you earn, month after month, year after year. It doesn't mean you have to live a life of extreme deprivation, but it does mean making deliberate choices about where your money goes, prioritizing needs over wants, and avoiding the temptation to spend every dollar that comes in. This gap between your income and your expenses is where wealth is born. It's the surplus that you can then use to build your future. The second key is to save and invest that surplus diligently and intelligently. Saving alone isn't enough, especially with inflation eroding the purchasing power of cash over time. You need to put your money to work. For most people, this means investing in a diversified portfolio of assets, like low-cost index funds or ETFs that track the broader stock market, or perhaps investing in real estate if that aligns with your goals and risk tolerance. The power of compound interest, where your earnings start generating their own earnings, is the closest thing to financial magic, but it requires time and consistent contributions. Third, and this is a big one, aggressively avoid and eliminate toxic debt. I'm talking about high-interest credit card debt, personal loans for depreciating assets, or any debt that isn't strategically helping you build wealth, like a sensible mortgage on a primary residence or carefully considered business loans. Toxic debt is like an anchor dragging down your financial progress. The interest payments actively work against you, siphoning away money that could be used for saving and investing. Making a plan to pay off high-interest debt as quickly as possible should be a top priority. After everything we've discussed, the illusions, the pressures, the often unseen realities of other people's finances, it's easy to still feel a bit overwhelmed or even discouraged. But I want to end on a really important and I hope empowering note. If you're taking steps, even small ones, to manage your money, save for the future, and learn about personal finance, you are likely doing much better than you think. In fact, you're probably already ahead of a significant portion of the population. Consider this. A large number of people live paycheck to paycheck, with little to no savings for emergencies, let alone for long-term goals like retirement. Many individuals carry substantial high-interest credit card debt with no clear plan to pay it off. A surprising number of people don't have a budget or track their spending at all. If you are consciously trying to avoid these pitfalls, you are already setting yourself apart in a very positive way. Every time you choose to save a little extra instead of making an impulse purchase, that's a victory. Every time you make an extra payment towards your debt, no matter how small, that's progress. Every time you sit down to review your budget, track your expenses, or educate yourself by watching videos like this one, or reading a book about investing, you are actively building your financial acumen and taking control of your future. These are not insignificant actions, they are the building blocks of financial success. It's easy to get caught up in comparing yourself to the highlight reels or the perceived wealth of others, as we've discussed. But when you shift your focus inward and acknowledge your own efforts and progress, you'll realize you have a lot to be proud of. Perhaps you've started an emergency fund, even if it's just a few $100s right now. That's fantastic. That puts you ahead of many who would be financially devastated by an unexpected car repair or medical bill. Maybe you've automated your savings, so a portion of your paycheck goes directly into a savings or investment account before you even see it. That's an incredibly powerful habit that many people never establish. Or perhaps you've simply become more mindful of your spending, questioning purchases and looking for ways to be more frugal. These are all quiet victories that deserve recognition. So there you have it. A look behind the curtain at why everyone else richer than you, and more importantly, a reminder of the real, actionable steps you can take to build genuine wealth on your own terms. It's not about chasing illusions or comparing your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20. It's about understanding the game, focusing on sound principles, and recognizing the incredible progress you're already making. Remember, the loudest displays of wealth are often not the truest, and your quiet, consistent efforts are laying the foundation for lasting financial freedom. This journey to financial well-being is deeply personal. Your goals, your timeline, and your definition of rich are unique to you. Stop looking over your shoulder at what others are doing or what they appear to have. Instead, focus on your own plan, celebrate your own wins, no matter how small they seem, and trust in the power of consistent, disciplined action over time. You have the ability to create the financial future you desire, and every smart decision you make today is a step in that direction. If this video gave you some clarity, a bit of comfort, or even just a new perspective on your financial journey, then I'm genuinely glad we could connect on this. Because this path to wealth, to security, to freedom, it's yours to walk at your own pace, and trust me, you are very likely doing much better than you give yourself credit for. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep building. If this video gave you clarity or comfort, I'm glad. Because this journey to wealth is yours, and you're doing better than you think. Smash that like button if you feel a little more empowered. Subscribe to The Wealthy Path, where we don't just talk about money, we build generational freedom. And in the comments let me know, what's one financial myth you've stopped believing? I read everyone.